my audience.
Hello.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm in the screen. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It's medieval Italy at the University of Naples, and St. Thomas Aquinas steps onto campus, and he comes across a lot of different characters. People that like to juggle, and a lot of people that love philosophy, namely the philosopher Aristotle. He was really curious about Aristotle, and he started to read their material. He drooled over his content. He loved his arguments and use of logic. He was more of a fan of Aristotle than every girl is of Harry Styles. But there was one problem. Aristotle only reasoned as far as the eye could see. Aristotle's logic only went so far. The author of The Great Philosophers by Brian McGee said, "The soul," they argued, "is not immortal. The universe was not began by a single divine creative act, but exists eternally. God knows only himself, not us." St. Thomas Aquinas would then become a Dominican friar in the Roman Catholic Church, and he would change the trajectory of Western philosophy and theology for the rest of time. He showed how faith and reason commingled, how they danced together instead of repelled each other. In one of his great works, Summa Theologica, he goes over many points, but the 3 points that I personally found convincing were natural law and eternal law, body and soul, and the cosmological argument. Natural law and eternal law. So there are 2 different types of natural law that Aristotle talks about. There's one called the moral compass natural law, and the other one is called the observance natural law. The moral compass natural law goes a little bit like this. Man directs himself to good. Man is not free to choose what is good, yet man wants and goes towards the good he did not create. The other observance natural law is most described as science. Aristotle and Aquinas definitely agreed on these positions to a T, but the point of contingency was why? Why does man direct himself to good? Aquinas would say that it is an eternal law, the sovereignty of God, how God made his consistent world. Aquinas is often referred to as the father of knowledge that can be found in any camp. Knowledge doesn't know borders, regions, or religion. The next argument that I found to be convincing was body and soul. Aristotle's position on your body and soul was that your soul and your body are one. Aquinas' position was the exact opposite, that your body and your soul are 2 distinct and separate beings. The point of contingency here would be, what is the state of death? What does it mean that a person is dead? Does it simply mean that his or her heart stopped? Or does it mean that the soul left the body? If body and soul are one, why does body stay at death and the soul ceases? Does it cease? If so, why is the body still there? If they are like wax and seal, like Aristotle claims, then why are they separated? It is more plausible that the body and soul are different and distinct, explaining the state of death. This changed the Western world. It changed Western philosophy and theology by offering a solid rebuttal to the Aristotelians. It also developed Christian theology. The last argument is the cosmological argument for God. This is most used by modern Christian philosophers today. It's most impressive to me by far because of the consistency, and it looks a lot like Aristotle, but Aristotle would never say this. It gets your opponent to see that God, believing in God, is reasonable, and it uses theology to explain the attributes of God. The premises go like this. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has an uncaused cause. St. Thomas Aquinas would attribute these attributes to God himself. This changed Western philosophy, but it really did change Western theology by giving people a reasonable defense for God's existence. All in all, St. Thomas Aquinas added lots of philosophical arguments to the table. He balanced faith and reason tastefully. Aquinas, he changed how the Western world thinks about the relationship between science and revelation. According to the School of Life, St. Thomas Aquinas states that all humans can grasp truth by using God's gift to humanity, namely reason. Thank you. Woo! And are there any questions? No? Okay.